What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video, reacting to best ways to amplify amp modelers, FRFR or guitar cab by Thomann Guitars and Basses. So what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be reacting to best ways to amplify amp modelers, FRFR or guitar cab by Thomann Guitars and Basses. As always, if you've not already subscribed to Thomann's Guitars and Basses, go ahead and do that now, please. I've also included the link for the original video in the description down below. Go and click on that and give the original video a like. And on this video, my video, leave a comment on what to see me react to next, and let's get to it.
Hey, what is up, guys? Today Chris and I are checking out 4 different ways to amplify your multi-effect pedal. My name is Guillaume.
My name is Chris. Welcome to Thomann's Guitars and Basses. Today we want to figure out how it's best amplifying, sort of monitoring a modeler, a multi-effect, whatever that is. Something that you use instead of an amp.
Exactly.
Okay, right off the bat, he said 4 ways to do it. I can only think of 3. In-ear monitors, no cabinets, completely ampless, through an actual cabinet, run through the modeler and a power amp and through the cabinet, or run through an FRFR speaker. That's really all. Oh, I guess the 4th way would be running it through a full tube amp in the effects loop. Yes, run it in the effects loop. So I guess that would be the 4th way. I'm guessing because the title of the video has it right there. Best ways to amplify it, FRFR or an actual guitar cab. And then obviously, there's in-ears. And as I was going, I don't know what the 4th way would be. And it just came to me. So let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm right.
All-in-one floor units, as the professionals call them. So your helixes, your campers, your axe effectors, your quad cortexes, and Fender Tone Master units. Today we have the quad cortex on the floor. It's just going to be one preset, one sound. What we're going to do is give you the signal pass fully rendered as it is, and then we're going to show you 4 different options that you have to monitor that in a louder way than
amplifying it in a way.
Exactly.
Because let's be honest, this is what your audience was gonna hear. This is what you will record directly. Whatever you do with it, this is the signal. But you need to hear yourself. And if you're not using any monitoring, which a lot of people don't do for multiple reasons, you will have to make sure that you have some sort of a monitoring. So we have a couple of ways. First of all, we'll plug it into the power amp of a normal traditional tube amplifier and disengage the cab sim in the quad cortex. So we'll use the pedal emulations and the amp emulations and use the power amp of normal guitar amp, the Rev D20, just to amplify it. Number 2 is going to be using an extra power amp that's been created for these kind of like preamp pedals and multi-effects and modelers, and we'll use a guitar cabinet. Because that's also a really efficient way of replacing an amplifier, but still amplifying your signal.
Yeah, you're going from having basically the unit plus an amp to the unit with a power amp and just a cab. Yeah. To go to
a full range speaker. And this is the FRFR made by Fender, the FR12, which is pretty new, and a lot of people praised it, so we'll see how that performs. It has a power amp built in, so it's just literally going to be quad cortex going straight into this, and then we'll mic it in a couple of ways. We'll talk about that in a second. And the last version is going to be going into a PA speaker. Like we're using wedges here on the floor, which are literally PA, like loudspeakers, just
they're using floor monitors as opposed to the option for in-ears. Okay, you could do that too, but I don't know anybody that would be really doing that. If they're going ampless, they're going to want to keep a quieter stage volume. Like, I understand that they're doing it because some people would like it that way, but I just don't know that that would be really practical, and it would kind of negate the whole purpose of it. But yeah, what I'm wondering is when they're going to run it into a guitar amp, a traditional tube amp, are they going to go in the effects loop, or are they going to go right into the front of the amp? Because if they're going into a guitar amp, of course, you know, if you're not using an FRFR speaker, you got to turn off the impulse response. You turn that off because you're going into an actual cabinet. But you wouldn't want to be running an amp simulator into the front of an amp, because if you're using it, you know, if you put it in the effects loop, then it essentially takes over as the preamp, and you're using the tube power of the actual amp, but you're actually using that as just a preamp. So I wonder how they're going to run that, and if they'll explain that part of things, that they're going in the effects loop, because I'm pretty sure that that would be, yeah, the way they would go with it.
On the floor, facing you, which is a very practical way of monitoring yourself. Now, the miking is going to be what makes this video, I think, really worth watching and making even, because it's really hard to mic wedges or like give you the impression of what you hear when you use this or that or that or whichever amplifying solution. So that's why we have our friend Giacomo. This is a Thomann dual microphone head that gives you a very realistic stereo image of what's happening in this room at this specific spot. So it's like somewhere where we are, and you'll hear what we hear, which is really cool. We still have some close mics on the cabs just to make sure that we have a direct tone.
Let's get started with just the line signal line out from the Quad Cortex so that you know what the preset sounds like, and then we'll go through all the different options that we have today.
He said we're getting just the line out, basically. So yeah, we're not getting the mic'd up cabs. That's just the way the Quad Cortex sounds, directly through the outs, directly into the interface to us, I believe. So they said.
We need to plug that in,
yes.
Turn off the monitoring, move Jacob.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I'm really liking the sound of, it doesn't even matter what mic it's using. I haven't keeping track of the mic directly, but when doing the clean tones through the Quad Cortex and through the straight up Seymour Duncan power amp and the Harley Benton 212, oh, those sound beautiful. That sounds really, really good. Yeah, some really good tones coming through all those speakers. So, I was always under the impression that the only real way to use modelers is with in-ears because it would, kind of defeats the whole purpose. But hearing how some of this stuff sounds through the actual cabinets, and with the amps and all that sort of stuff, and even through the FRFR, yeah, you can still use modelers and have air moving and use something else other than just in-ears. This is actually kind of made me a believer in alternative ways of being able to monitor using, modelers and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So, Giacomo, what did
do
you
you think?
Which one did you prefer?
Yeah, it's really interesting, man. What would you say? How was the experience?
I had some happy surprises. It's the first time that I'm using the Power Stage 200 from Seymour Duncan. There's the power amp. I was really super happy with such a nice sort of compact little solid state thing doing such a great job.
Yeah, totally.
It's still nice to have an actual speaker. So for those kind of situations, that would mean that you'd have to send different outputs through the quad cortex or whatever your unit is, so that you'd have one without IR to the speaker that you're using on stage.
Almost all modelers can do that as well too. Even the small cheapo stuff, like the Valatin stuff that I use. Not saying that it's cheapo; it's more affordable. Yeah, you can have your right and left output. You can have the one that's going to the front of the house to still have an impulse response on it. So that way, the other output that's going to your Seymour Duncan power stage and to an actual guitar cabinet, you take the IR off of that. And it's still the same patch, because obviously you don't want to throw an IR into an actual speaker. A speaker into a speaker is not good. No. But I'm still wondering how they're running when going into the guitar amp. Are they going directly into the front, or are they going into the effects loop? These are the things we need to know, or at least I do.
And one with IR to front of house, for example, but all those units can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I really enjoyed that sound. The Fender FR12 was, I think, in the room, my favorite.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I want one. I kind of want one. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, I know. He's on the modeler trip right now. I think he's gonna end up with one of those. To me, it was really interesting. I was expecting to like the into real normal amps, power amp kind of sound most, but that was the most different compared to the sound, the way you tweaked it. Like, we've listened to this through monitors, through headphones. I know how it sounds. I remember how it felt. And through the power amp of the D20 in the first round, it just sounded much warmer, pushier. It was just a kind of tone where I would want to tweak it some more. But since the line tone is very different, and that's what really matters if you use one of these, because that's what you'll record or send to in front of house, you don't really want to tweak it. So it can be tricky to use it with power amps, depending on, of course, the amp, because every power amp will sound different, and most of them will not give you an EQ option, unless you're using a dedicated power amp that will give you at least like a bass and treble. This one gives like even bass, mids, treble, and presence. which is really cool. So that's why I enjoyed this much more.
Yeah.
This went through the same Harley Benton cab as the Rev D20. So
Yeah.
the first and the second round basically were the same cabinet, and then the third round was the FR, which sounded to me really nice. It sounded like a Fender combo.
Yeah.
Which is something I love.
Kinda
It's
did,
just
yeah.
strange that even like a full...
Those chimey cleans did sound very Fender-like. Again, I still want to know about how you ran the modeler into the power amp of the actual guitar amplifier.
frequency kind of flat response speaker still sounds like a Fender combo. It's probably the enclosure and everything.
And it's paired with like those are Princeton in that specific preset that we've been using. Those are Princeton clean amps with a couple pedals.
No wonder then.
For sure. But I think it's fair to say that it would be fun to rename that video Boomer Guitar Player Likes Solid State Power Amp with his modeler.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Should we, if we get 200 comments under that video saying that we should name it that way, we will rename it that way. Okay?
Just for you.
Just go ham, go crazy. Just do it.
And the last round was the monitors, the PA speakers, those wedges right in front of us, by the way. I think that's the one I would go for if it was like a bigger stage. Because usually I don't really like my amp mic'd and then through the wedges, because it always sounds a little like unnatural. It doesn't react or sound the same way as your amp, obviously, because it's mic'd and going through the mixer and everything.
Yeah.
This time though, with a modeler that is meant to go directly into speakers like this, that felt to me most natural, really. The most guitar player-y kind of experience was with the power amp through the 2x12 guitar cab, and this appeared to me like the most useful for stage. Like not in rehearsal room, not at home necessarily, but for stage, this is what I would trust, and I would know that it's gonna be a big and solid, full frequency tone that I can work with.
Right. I would still go for the power stage.
Power stage.
That little unit over there, the power stage, I've been hearing nothing but good things about that. That is pretty much the ultimate power amp to pair up if you want to go modeler into a cabinet without any other fussing about. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that works as a fairly good setup. But just like he said, and I never really thought about that. That you're going to have your tone totally optimized for the front of the house sound, the line out for the front of the house sound. And you're going to be running that to a cabinet, so it's going to sound different. So you're going to want to almost EQ things to make it sound a little different on stage that would affect the front of the house. That would be a bit of a tough battle. That would be a bit of a tough battle. Unless what you were going to be doing is not running to the front of the house, and you're going to be going from your modeler through a cabinet, which you would then mic up and do it kind of the same way you would a normal rig, I guess. But yeah, that would be the other way, I would guess, for a situation like that.
On stage, just because I like the feel of that much better, and I think it's going to be more versatile if you want to use it as an amp for your audience, if you want to use it as a monitor for yourself. I think that's, how do you do it? If you're a fan of those units, if you're using any of those floorboard modelers and whatnot, how do you monitor yourself, amplify, gig, jam,
rehearse, whatever.
Let us know in the comments once you've told us about the title thing. And, if you have any more questions about the things that we've used throughout that video, check out the link in the description box. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Yeah. And of course, let us know if anything was confusing, because it's a lot of stuff here and lots of mics and everything. If there's anything that confuses you, let me know. I'll come back to you in the comments below.
You will.
See you down there. And of course, meet you in the next video, probably tomorrow. Bye.
All right, so that was reacting to best ways to amplify your amp modelers, FRFR or Guitar Cab by Thomann Guitars and Basses. So as always, if you've not already subscribed to Thomann's Guitars and Basses, go ahead and give them a sub right now, please. I've also included the link for the original video in the description down below. Please go and click on that and give that a like as well too, the original video. And on this video, my video, leave a comment on what you'd like to see me reacting to next. Thanks for checking out this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, click the notification bell, like, comment, and share. It doesn't cost a thing and would really help out the channel. Also, please subscribe to my other channel, GK Mac Music, for some live looping live streams with a side of jackassery, some original music, and some short content, also with a side of jackassery. If you'd like to help out the channel financially, you can buy some merch at the merch store, or you can become a channel member. As always, everyone, thanks so much for your continued support. Do what makes you happy.